Let's bring in Alon Ben-Meir, professor and senior fellow at New York University's Center for Global Affairs. Alon, you heard Secretary Pompeo. We heard Secretary Pompeo. In other words, can we say that that's it? The Khashoggi scandal is behind us and ties are back to normal?
Well, I hope not. I just wanted to imagine. Here they have the Secretary of State saying that we have to hold accountable anyone who's been involved in the killing of the journalist Khashoggi, when in fact he is looking at the face of the very individual who actually ordered the assassination of Khashoggi. I think this is hypocritical at best. And for the United States not to take a clear stand on issues of this nature, it is damaging to our reputation, it is damaging our relations with our allies, and that's something we should not be tolerating.
What is so important to the United States that Saudi Arabia can provide that is worth whitewashing the Crown Prince's alleged involvement in this murder?
I'm not sure what you mean by, the Saudi Arabian whitewashing this whole episode, needless to say.
But why is it so important to the Trump administration to accept it?
Well, Trump has been saying time and again, Saudi Arabia is the largest purchaser of weapons. Saudi Arabia is an important ally in fighting against Iran. Saudi Arabia is important because it advances Israeli-Palestinian peace process. So he's naming all this. And I'm not necessarily disputing the importance of that, but that does not suggest that you should forgive the Saudis for committing such egregious crime against a journalist, no less, and merely saying, well, it's okay, there's a trade-off of sort. That should not be the position of the United States under any circumstances.
Let's talk about what's happening in Syria following the U.S. Troop withdrawal, the expected one, and the rift between President Erdogan of Turkey, maybe planning his offensive against the Kurds. What do you make of President Trump's threat to devastate Turkey economically? We saw last year that the United States imposed economic sanctions against Turkey over the Pastor Bernstein dispute. Will Erdogan dare to attack the Kurds, given this threat?
Well, he's been fighting the Kurds now for some time. His ambition is not merely to fight the militia representing the Kurds, the Syrian Kurds, but in fact to stop the Syrian Kurds from establishing their autonomous role in Syria itself. He wants to have a permanent foothold in Syria. That is the ambition of Erdogan. And so to suggest that he merely doing so in order to fight terrorism, the YPG along with the PKK, that is really the facade. And I know firsthand, being there, talking to so many people, it's simply a facade that he's putting through, and it is simply not the reality on the ground.
Alon Ben-Meir, professor and senior fellow at New York University Center for Global Affairs. And Alon, good to have you here as always.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.